Interesting poll that just came out from Survey USA. Maybe not the most prominent name in polling the way Gallup is, but it's actually got a lot of contests right this primary season. They did a 50-state poll, how Obama would do versus McCain in each state, how Clinton would do versus McCain in each state. They both beat McCain, but the maps are different. Clinton wins slightly less electoral votes with slightly less states and more dependent on big states. And if you see, her campaign has basically had a talking point that the states that Obama wins don't really count. That he wins in Idaho and North Dakota and Utah, and Democrats aren't going to win there. Tiny states. Clinton wins the big states, big boy states. She wins Ohio and Texas and California and New York. She's expected to win Pennsylvania. And really what they emphasize here, or at least what's the subtext is that Ohio is considered the ultimate swing state. That's a state that we have a really good... We almost got it in 2004. We could get it in 2008. There's a lot of older, white, working-class voters, and that seems to be the demographic where Obama is weakest. And if he can't win there, and he can't win in Pennsylvania, that is serious trouble for the general election. Well, that would be true if you had a constrained view of what the electoral map can be. When you looked at that Survey USA data, and I actually have it up on LiberalOasis.com, Obama beats McCain, winning 24 states, plus the District of Columbia, plus a partial victory in Nebraska, where they allocate electoral college votes by congressional district. Now, this is not the end-all be-all of the map. The polls are going to change and fluctuate. It's not a final predictor of what's going to happen. But it shows what could happen. It shows that there are states in play. There are more states in play. And particularly, everyone focuses on the South, generally speaking. If you ever read Tom Schawler's Whistling Past Dixie, he laid out an argument, and there are a lot of bloggers that have subscribed to this, that the real battleground, the real area for growth in the Democratic Party is the West. It's Colorado. It's Nevada. It's Montana. These are states that are more achievable for Democrats than the South, which are very, very firmly in the social conservative camp and are much harder for Democrats to break into. It's not it's not the 50s and 60s. Those demographic patterns have changed. But Obama was showing more strength in the interior West, in the Pacific Northwest, in the plains, in Iowa and Nebraska, in North Dakota. So, and he also did better in Virginia as well. So the map broadened with him at the top of the ticket as opposed to Clinton. Now, if you think Clinton is on the merits, the better candidate would be the better president, I think that's absolutely a fine judgment, and there's no reason to think that she can't win. The fundamentals of this election are such that you've had 8 years of widespread conservative failure, particularly in foreign policy and domestic policy. McCain seems to be willing to run on both of those, on the Bush record on both fronts. So I think they could both win. But if you think about what is going to be best for the party in the long run, who is going to broaden the party's reach? Who is going to reach out to younger voters, the next generation? Who is going to help you broaden the majorities in Congress? Those small states have just as many senators as the big states. So if you have broader coattails in those states, that could help you achieve the big goals: universal health care, fighting global warming, ending the war in Iraq, etc. So it's somewhat unfortunate from my perspective that we might risk those potential gains by having a drawn-out contest. But that is out of my hands. We are where we are. And perhaps the best thing that we can do is try to, in our media purchase, and all of us have media purchase now, we all can blog, we all can call into talk radio, we all have voice here, to try to make sure that we have a remaining contest that is on the merits, that does not, and it should be hard fought, and nothing should be, things in general should not be out of bounds because anything can be said is going to be said in the general election. We need to see how these candidates can handle it. But let us not say things that can be used by the opponent in a general election. That's where I think people get really bent out of shape. I'm thinking specifically about when Senator Clinton this week said, I crossed the threshold to be commander-in-chief. Senator McCain crosses the threshold to be commander-in-chief, and Obama I'm not so sure about. That kind of stuff really endangers the Democratic Party's prospects come November. You do not want to say that anything that the Republican nominee is better than a possible Democratic nominee about. Now, I know Obama's a big boy. I'm sure I know he had something to say about that. And it is his job to say it. But I think it is our job to patrol these candidates the best we can and say, hey, there are some boundaries here. Have a fight. Go have a fight. It's a political contest. That's what you do. But let's be sane about it. In lieu of the Democratic contest, there are other things that we can be doing to impact our nation. What can we be doing to make sure that whoever gets elected has a concrete mandate to achieve big goals? What can we do independent of the primary contest to position ourselves for 2009? After the break, we're going to be talking to my colleague at the Campaign for America's Future, Toby Chowdhury, about the upcoming Take Back America conference happening in Washington, D.C. later this month in March. Go to ourfuture.org for more about that. And we'll be talking about it with him in just a little bit. This is Bill Scher on the Liberal Oasis radio show, WHMP News, Information, and the Arts. Back after this.